This is the beautiful Eiffel Tower in the middle of Paris, a place where people from around the world come to live the French dream, from street performers to chefs and from painters to sculptors. Paris is a city of art, beauty and culture. Unfortunately, there are some people who take advantage of the lonely or overexcited tourist, putting them through hell just as they are about to reach the climax of their trip to the French capital. Scammers. People who have no other interest than to sell you a story, a promise, a fake and impossible bet, and then profit from your good manners and childlike innocence and take away your money. Just a few meters away from the most famous tower in the world are dozens of scammers who play the cups and bowls game. This is an ancient game that was supposedly played during the times of the pharaohs of Egypt. The version played near the tower in Paris is relatively new, using 3 metal cups and a yellow ball made out of fluffy material. The ball, although appears big, can be squeezed into 1/5 of its size, making it easy for the scammer to hide it in his hand. Now, the cups and bowls trick is not the only scam you will find on the streets of Paris. These people have intricate systems of scamming tourists, including asking for money for disabled children's and hospital bills, presenting you with a clipboard where you can write your name and sign. They obviously do not care about your name or signature, but just for the money. And they don't do this just in Paris, but also in other countries as well. Now, before you jump on and play the racist card, I have to let you know that these people are mostly from my country, Romanians coming from the gypsy minority. These people come to Paris to fool tourists into thinking they can win large amounts of money by playing this innocent street game. In reality, they are tricking them into paying real, hard-earned money for the bets that they could never win. And I will show you why you can never win in a second. It is very important to mention this because of 2 reasons. 1. These people are the only ones who are doing this in Paris or anywhere else on the planet. You will never see Romanians of other minorities do this. Other members of the minority, also coming from my country, were caught in Prague, for example, where they asked for signatures in exchange for money for poor children, or even exchanging Belarusian money as Czech crowns, which obviously have no value in the Czech Republic. Second, it is important to mention that not all gypsy minority members are the same. In Romania, gypsies are praised for their talent in music and dance, handmade goods, and tailoring. It is some members of the gypsy minority doing these scams in Paris, Rome, London, or Prague that puts a huge damp in the hard-earned reputation and the sincere values of the working gypsies from across the globe, as well as on the Romanian people as a nation overseas. While everybody needs to make a living, this way of making money by cheating on other people is to be condemned, never encouraged, and massively exposed so that the public knows what to expect when they meet a scammer. We will now focus on the trick itself, which is one of the most famous magic tricks in the world. We will look into the history of the number, and then dive into how the scammers are setting the scene in the streets, so that even if you win, you lose. And finally, we will use clear cups to show you just how exactly the trick is being done. Cups and bowls is one of the oldest tricks in magic. There are documented descriptions of the trick going back to Roman conjurers in the 3rd century BC, and even before that, in the eras of Egyptian pharaohs. The trick has many variations, but the most common one uses 3 bowls and 3 cups. According to Wikipedia, street gambling variations performed by conmen were known as bunko boots. A typical cups and bowls routine includes many of the most fundamental effects of magic. The bowls can vanish, appear, transpose, reappear, and transform. Basic skills such as misdirection, manual dexterity, sleight of hand, and audience management are also essential to most cups and bowls routines. As a result, mastery of the cups and bowls is considered by many as the litmus test of a magician's skills with gimmick-style tricks. It is because of these illusions that I myself have developed a passion for magic. I've been performing magic since I was 10, mostly for my family and friends, and practicing non-stop. I now own a small magic corner in my home office, with over 100 decks of playing cards, countless books on magic, tricks and gimmicks, and other memorabilia. This is why I feel like it is my duty to to tell you about these scammers, as they use the oldest trick in magic to profit from you. Magic should only be profitable to the artists that perform it to entertain, like in the theater or for free on the streets. The most important part of the cops and balls scam happens before you place your bet. Whenever you see a conman in the street performing, there is always a crowd gathered around him. These people are in it, with the few exceptions of other curious tourists. At least 5 other people from the gang are into it, playing the roles of tourists ready to bet on the chance to win. And surely they win. But they don't win for themselves, they win so that you can see that they win, hitting the cop with the ball underneath right away. Then another one plays and loses, but then he raises the bar and wins again, all for you to see. And then the scammer asks you to play, and you bet something small at his recommendation, encouraged by the other so-called tourists, and you win. Crowd cheers and starts betting away, creating chaos as they want to win as you did. And surely you can't just walk away now, you're in for the big win, not just for double your money. So you go in again, betting your win and doubling it, and surely you lose. You were convinced that the ball was under the middle cup, but it was not there when the scammer raised it up. It was under another cup, pointed at by the other tourist, the scammer's friend. How is this even possible? I would say magic, but no, this is not magic, this is theft. So how did the conman make the fluffy ball vanish from under the cup that you saw him put it, right before you bet on it with your hard-earned money? It is quite simple, to be honest. When your time comes to bet big, so not your initial bets, whatever cup you're going to pick, you will never get it right. That is because the ball is under no one of the 3 cups. When your time comes to win big, the ball sits comfortably in the money hand, where the conman usually holds the bets. Perfectly hidden under the money pot. The ball is obviously under no cup. It is just before the other tourists betting against you, the one who is in it from the crowd, that the conman places the ball back under the cup and reveals it to be there for the win. As you can see in my demonstration with these clear plastic cups, right before the conman asks you to pick one for the bet, he slides the ball back into his hand before starting to mix the cups. Your chances are therefore not 1 in 3, but 0 in infinity. You simply cannot win, and if you do say the ball is in your hand, the thief will then quickly distract you from it and slide the ball under one cup, revealing it after pointing to one of his gang members. No matter how hard you look or how good you think you are at ball following, you will never be as fast as these guys. Remember, they've scammed hundreds, if not thousands of people in the streets of Paris and beyond for years, and are still there to do it. They know what to do regardless of your move, as they've seen it all. And surely, they will not hesitate to make a scene if you are thinking about making one, which can turn dangerous or even physical, considering they are always traveling in groups of 6 or more. You should never play this game on the streets, because even if you somehow win a hand and lose one and then win again, you could get into trouble. The group is in on it, so they will pursue you into playing more and more, and even get aggressive if you try to leave the premises. And if you do start, for example, to shout for the police, they might grab the money from your hand and run away. In the end, all they lose is a cardboard box made into a table. Instead of paying 50 or 100 euros for a no chance of winning double, here is what you can do with the money in Paris. Go to Disneyland Park for a day, as it will cost you around 80 euros, and you can ride as many rides as you can for the whole day. Enjoy a delicious meal at any restaurant in Paris. 100 euros will get you and your partner a full meal with an appetizer, a main, a dessert, and plenty of delicious wine. Visit the Louvre, go up the Eiffel Tower, eat 4 macarons, take a trip to the Versailles Palace, and end the day with a visit to the Orsay Museum. Everything for just 100 euros. The price of 10 seconds of fake excitement from a cups and balls scammer in central Paris.